Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's video, Thursday, the 2nd of May, 2024. And I'm back in my trading room today. You see, looking lovely behind me. It was a bit of a wasteland yesterday, but things have settled down. We're back to some more technical trading. Yesterday was pretty crazy, but yeah, we can have a look at the markets in a little bit more of a calm manner today. So what I want to discuss today is, of course, the Bitcoin technical analysis. We want to also be looking at some of the altcoins, some of the trades that we've been taking recently. But I do want to start here with news that Bitcoin has seen the highest ever daily outflows on its ETF since launch. So totaling there at an outflow of over $500 million exiting the ETFs yesterday. And for the first time ever, we saw IBIT outflows as well. Now, IBIT was the basically the ETF that was essentially the most bullish out of all of them for quite a long time. And yeah, seeing those outflows yesterday, maybe of course a little bit of panic in the market. You can see outflows of 608.4 Bitcoin there, whereas previously, okay, that's a lot higher than even some of the inflows that it had seen recently as well. Now, something else that a lot of people have been wondering about is with these ETFs, how are we getting these zeros? Okay, so obviously if there's a lot of people buying, they're buying Bitcoin at spot. If there's a lot of people selling, they're selling Bitcoin on the spot market. But what about these zeros? Does that mean no one's trading? Or is it something else? So I did a tweet about this yesterday. And essentially, there's a really good tweet here that I've linked. So just you can read through that, but the short of it is that there's essentially a threshold. Okay, so market makers internally within the funds themselves can handle a certain amount of volume, a certain amount of transactions and delta on either side per day. So if you're seeing just Bitcoin inflows and outflows or buying and selling within this level of tolerance, then you don't get any inflow or outflow. However, when it goes outside of this tolerance, if there's an extreme amount of selling, then they will obviously have to tap into the underlying asset itself. They will have to tap into the spot markets in order to sell Bitcoin if there's an extreme amount. So that then that like basically this level of tolerance can move according to where the demand is. It's the same with the inflows. Okay, if there's extreme demand for price for buying it, then they obviously have to tap into the underlying asset. It costs more than one creation unit, blah, 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 in order to get it. And therefore they need to buy spot Bitcoin on the open market in order to cover that. So a lot of the time, and you'll see this is the case with a lot of ETFs in the USA, it's just because this is brand new. And obviously there was a lot of demand earlier on for the ETF and a lot of basically selling from GBTC as we weren't seeing these zeros. But the case is that the majority of the time, internally, they'll be able to manage this. So we are going to go through, I'd say, from now on, now that the market's kind of settling down, it will be very often that you see these zeros popping up on these ETFs as it's just a bit more of a stable market rather than like extreme demand or extreme selling going on. Another interesting thing here is not only the high volume, but also the discount that a lot of these ETFs are currently running at. So we can see down here the HODL ETF, the EZBC, and the BTCW ETFs running at almost a 2% discount against the NAV, which is the net asset value. So if you're buying the ETF, you're essentially buying it at a 2% discount for what Bitcoin is currently worth. So is that going to drive a bit more demand? Are they pushing this down so you get that discount? It's been trading pretty much like just very much like either side of it since it started, and now there's a heavy discount on some of these ETFs. Is that going to spark up demand? We will have to wait and see, but this is a big extreme. We can see when we had the extreme on buying, when there was over $1 billion of inflow at the top, we're getting down to that $500 million of outflows down here. Is that going to settle down somewhat? We see that discount start to cool off, start to taper off, and then we start to see those inflows again very soon. I would imagine we probably see this, like I say, start to settle down. We'll see a lot more of these zeros on the board as things are just trading within a manageable range. And then maybe things start to pick up again fairly soon after that. But that's like a little bit of theory for you. If we go into the technicals, then that's why you're all here. So let's have a look at the technicals on the Bitcoin chart. So starting off here on the monthly, we did, of course, have that bearish engulfing. It didn't engulf the whole candle, but it did engulf the body of that candle. So we had a pretty bullish March, of course. April was certainly sell and closing below the March open. And now in May, because we got that bearish close on March, we are starting to push down a little bit lower. Now, when you look at this and you zoom out, it really isn't that scary, okay? It's like, okay, yeah, maybe a lot of people thinking, right, the top's in, we've had this bearish monthly candle, and then we're going to get continuation lower. But this is the, not anymore, but it was almost the second highest close of all time. It is now like the third highest close of all time, and it's still Bitcoin trading above that 58,000 or around about that $58,000 level, which I think is relatively healthy, especially as we've just gone through the halving. If you look at the weekly time frame as well, we can see that we're now in this weekly gap. All right, we have this big weekly gap that, where's my rectangle here? So Bitcoin trading within that gap and has come down to around about the midpoint of that. So if we do look at the midpoint here of this particular gap, that takes us around about that 56K. And then if we go down onto the daily level, which again, we can see a little bit more detail here. If we are going to go from that 38K low towards our high, then we do have that 56K basically lining up here. So if we're looking at a level where if we do come down and sweep these lows, all right, 56K looks like a really good zone to be reaccumulating once again, if you're not already doing so. Of course, there is the possibility that it comes through and fills the whole gap, but midpoint of the gap, midpoint of the whole like big move that we've seen coming up so far would for me be a really good opportunity to start to buy again. On the daily here as well, we can see this is our yearly anchored VWAP. So that currently is holding price up. We got that close above and we are, just trading around there once again today. And if we look at our volume profile for the year, we can see quite a clear double distribution. All right, we have a range here and we have a range here. And where price is currently at the moment, this is going to look a bit rude, is right in the middle where we've got this low volume node. All right, looks like a nasty bum and it's pooing out some nasty price action. But we've got this double distribution. It would only get really, really sketchy and really scary if price does start to close below that 52K level. Okay, if we start to trade back within this range here, that looks really bad. Filling out some space in the middle, not bad at all. All right, it's testing demand here. It's clearly got value up at the top. There is clearly fair value here around between that 60K to 70K zone. And yeah, if price can just fill out some of this space, flip back into this range, get back within this value area of the upper range here, which will be, where's our value area for that? That's going to be taking you up to around about 63, 64. Now it's likely that that's going to move down somewhat if price continues to trade around here. But then we start to look at, again, at all-time highs. So not looking scary unless there are those closes below 52K. And from my opinion, it would be absolutely fine if we do just chill out around here, maybe make a few more lows, some kind of wedge, and then we break out later on, a bit later on in the summer. 4-hour time frame again here. So similar kind of thing. All right, we're going to go on to the lower time frames and take a look at that in just a second. There was a big bounce yesterday. Was this the bearish back test before lower? Now, we haven't taken out the lows, but we did bounce back into what was our previous month low, and obviously these range lows back here. So if we're looking at the lows that were put in back at the beginning of March, and this low here, price coming back in, bouncing into that area, as you can see, and an immediate rejection. Now, this is very much, there was FOMC yesterday, and it was the same thing that we saw on the NASDAQ, on the S&P 500, and on a bunch of assets. Even the dollar yesterday had a lot of volatility during FOMC. There was a massive move up. All right, we know that we were in a couple of trades there, managed to take some good trades during FOMC, managed to catch this bounce on Bitcoin, on NASDAQ, and on some altcoins. and then that just chilled out, not taking out the lows, but we are seeing once again just a consolidation of price here. Lows have not yet been taken, but that does give us now a high that we can work on if we are going to see, a larger range start to form here. Then we've got a decent high and a decent low that's now been put in. So if we go on to the ROO chart, and there's a few more levels that we can throw up on here. Okay, so anything else that we're really looking at? If we do start to really start climbing, then I'm mainly looking at this 62K area. We've got confluence there, all right, with your 618 golden pocket. You've got a big 4-hour gap here. I'm on the 1-hour time frame, but if you look on the 4-hour chart, you can see these gaps, these very clear gaps on the chart, each of them with high volume. All right, so extremely high volume on each of these moves down. And if there was to be a larger bounce, then you would be looking at that 62K zone as being an area where essentially, if it can hold here, hold that monthly open, it's looking good, but that would be where I would then be targeting once again those swing short positions if there is to be another leg lower. It's unlikely that we're going to get there anytime soon. I think more chopping around within this range, let the market chill out a little bit is likely, and we'll see what happens from then on. Go down onto the real low timeframes here. We've got previous day high, it's a long way off. All right, 60,850. Previous day low, a lot of people waiting for that. You've made 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows, and it hasn't been taken yet. And if we're looking at the VWAP for today, we could see as we had the daily open, typical VWAP open drive, all right? So one of the strategies that we often trade, you get that move up on the daily open, all right, takes out local highs, you drop down, you lose your daily open here, and then VWAP runs it all the way down until you reach a peak in volume at the lows, all right, an excess at the lows, and then we start to come back, that mean reversion type of thing, coming back into balance, coming back into the point of control and starting to change that trend. So the daily open drive, daily VWAP open drive this morning, and now just settling down here. What also happened here this morning was, if we look at our previous day point of control, you will see where this just nicely lined up. There it is. There is your previous day point of control here at 57,200. Price finding some support down there, actually coming down almost into that value area low here as well. And if you're looking at this as the 80% setup, an old classic, we did get that daily open just outside value area. So as soon as you had that acceptance back inside, that did create a high probability that you're going to trade back through the previous day value area. And that is what we have seen. And now, of course, we can see holding here, nice even distribution on the day so far, and holding above VWAP. Are we going to be able to claw back up here and start to take out some highs once again? There is, of course, some excess and some targets up at these highs that we put in yesterday, and so far, yeah, it just does seem like we're getting this floaty move up here. If we start to break down, all right, we're looking at, it's pretty shallow right now. You want to see VWAP start to curl up. You want to see this test back into daily open, see if it can hold around there, and then we can take it from there. And yeah, our sessions, London session so far, just been extremely flat, right? There's not really any major imbalance here. If we're looking on the 15 minutes, then of course we do have this to be looking at, and price once again needs to start to clear this imbalance that we have on the chart from earlier on this morning as we got that big move down. All right, you can see that we cleared the basically first one, had a nice little retrace here, golden pocket. All right, now extending up towards targets, so there was opportunities to go long very early this morning, and that's now hitting into those targets. But I would like to see this push higher. I would like to see that test of daily open, or at least to get through that 58K again, to see if this can start to push on here. Overall, I'm expecting a consolidation day today. Right, there's no major news. I do think that we just see this just chill out somewhat, and maybe we get a bigger move on a Friday. We'll see, but we know where the liquidity lies. Internal highs and lows are looking quite good. session highs and lows, previous day highs and lows a bit far off, especially the high, but there is the low that we can be aware of. And that is, yeah, kind of everything I'm really looking at on Bitcoin. Been talking for 15 minutes now. This is a big update. I'll touch upon the altcoins as well. Okay, so JTO, one of the trades that I've been just focusing on recently, right? You know that I went long on JTO, one of only 3 trades that I've taken over the past few days. So yeah, long JTO on average entry around $3. I went in at $3.20, down towards $2.80. So I've got my average here. I'm moving my stop up to yesterday's low. I do think that is looking like a decent low at this stage. It was down here, but yeah, moving my stop up. And have not yet taken profit. I think I will be taking profit first of all if we do come up to where we have this trend line that's moving down and this anchored VWAP from the high. But everything so far looking pretty constructive here, looking pretty good. And yeah, anticipating a move higher, even if we do get something like this, and then we go like this, and then we eventually get a break higher. It really does depend on what Bitcoin does and what the rest of the market does. If Bitcoin starts dumping again, it's clearly not going to work. But this is one of those assets that's shown real good strength against the market over the past few days, and I would expect that to continue. Another trade that I took, this was the one that I took live yesterday. All right, we did have this trade on STX. I've traded this asset before. I really like it, so I'm confident in trading it. We had, let's just take off the VWAP here. This was during our trading room, so if you are interested in trading live alongside us with a really great community of traders, then please do click on the links below. You can go to toroscrypto.com, which is up there in the corner as well, and you can join our crew that way, and we do live trading on a daily basis. We've got a really, really vibrant community, a lot of people taking a lot of trades, and tons of educational content. So if you're interested in that, then go and join that, and yeah, we'd love to see you over there. But yeah, this is the trade that we took yesterday during yesterday's trading room. Okay, it's nice and clean on the 15-minute time frame here. Once again, STX was showing some quite nice resilience yesterday during the drop. It was making that higher low as Bitcoin was continuing to dump. And as we got the New York Open here, we had what was a really nice, like you just see these big spikes down, these wicks down, right? And then it started to claw back some of those losses. That to me looks like clear demand here, okay? It's like, okay, I really do not want price going below $2. Like market makers just like, no, thank you. We want to be buying here below $2. That is clear demand. Price had a decent impulse up, formed this range here, swept into those lows, filling in this gap here, and then of course we managed to hit targets a little bit later on in the day. This was also based on our value areas as well here. So if we do bring on the session volume profile, then what we had seen, if we let this load up, then this was a move back into that previous day POC. Okay, after having a nice move down before. So yeah, decent move there on STX. And then the other one that I'm in, which is just still kind of chilling and not whiff, it's not whiff at all, it's W. So once again, whole market's been crashing, all right, the last few days, but this wormhole W has been remaining stable and is actually making higher lows and higher highs. I am aware that we've got this VWAP from its launch coming down, causing pressure on price here. This POC has also shifted up recently, but I am in a long position on this from just below 60 cents there. And it's one of those, like, let's just see how it goes. We've had these new assets launch that has this kind of price action. Can this start to push through that VWAP? Maybe just get because of course this will continue to go down, a bit of a pop up, come back in, test into some support, and then we're looking at higher prices afterwards. So it's a bit more of a swing trade here, but still very interested in this. Then Tier is the other one that I've been mentioning. Nice technical trading here. Golden pockets working out, price coming in, clear on the daily. All right, filled a daily gap, back tested what was previous resistance. Decent volume on that. Had a very, very nice bounce. A bounce of 70% before a retrace back down into that golden pocket, and now for myself would be looking for that move back up towards the highs which would be very, very nice here on tier. So yeah, let's follow that as well. This is 20 minutes long. This is a very long video. So please do, of course, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, do all of that nice kind of stuff. Once again, if you are new to the community, please do go and check out tauruscrypto.com, which is, where's it gone? Where's my little screen gone? Over here, go to tauruscrypto.com. You can click on join the crew. Apologies for the brightness, but you can join the crew over there. And yeah, you can learn more about our community by visiting the website. And if you want to support the channel without like signing up to anything and you just want to be trading, then I would really appreciate any of our partner exchanges. Costs nothing for you, and you get some discounts on fees from WooX, Bybit, Blofin. Links are in the description below. Just go to the website, just click on one of these, and it will take you straight to the site there where you can sign up and register, and so on. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully no more crazy downside dumpy. It would be nice just to chill out for a little bit after yesterday was kind of mad. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.